Today we're going to learn how to input information into the Mat Designer software. First, double-click on the Mat Designer icon that is on the desktop. On the screen, double-click on the Mat Design underneath New, since we're making a new mat board. If you want a different kind of template other than a rectangle, click on the template design. And then you see a lot of options there that you can choose, but today we're going to go with the regular rectangle. You should already have the opening size of your picture ready, so you should have already measured that. And our piece of artwork has an opening size of 14 inches width and a height of 18 inches. So you would input the opening size, and then the next step would be to input the outside size. So that depends on how big of a border you want. We're going to have a 2-inch border for our mat board, so that means there would be 2 inches on the top, the bottom, and both the sides. So 2 inches on the top and 2 inches on the bottom makes a total of 4 inches that we're adding to the height, as well as a total of 4 inches adding to the width. So our outside size is going to be 18 by 22. You also notice here that the software is automatically set for 2 layers for the mat board, so that means we'll be cutting 2 pieces of mat today. And then once you have all that information in there, you're going to be clicking on OK. And what you'll see is a nice big rectangle with all the dimensions. So what you're going to do is you're going to double check. It says here our width is 14 and our height is 18. That's our opening size, and you can look along the ruler at the bottom. And that says that our outside size width is 18 inches, and then our height is 22 inches. You can look at the rulers. You also want to make sure that these little squares that are here are lining up with that green line. That's showing that your mat board is centered. If you want something a little bit different, you can move this around. That has that feature, but typically it's going to be centered in the middle of the mat board. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to cut the mat board. Over here on the side, you've got a group of tools. You're going to click on the blade. The blade is what we're going to use to cut. So click on blade, and what pops up is a screen that has red lines. In the software, it is automatically set up to cut the first layer, which would be considered the bottom layer. It is a layer that you'll only see a little bit of. So once the mat board is on the machine, you're going to cut that layer by clicking on the cut button. Once that layer has been cut, you would take that mat board off and then put on your next piece of mat board. And what happens after that's been cut, the first layer is that it automatically goes to layer 2. So you do not have to change anything. It automatically bumps it to layer number 2. And then you're going to hit cut again, and that mat board layer is going to cut. Now you've got everything done, you've cut your mat board, you did a good job, but let's say that we're going to use this again. So it's time for us to save our design. So when you hit the quit button, this pop-up window is going to come up, and it says, do you want to save mat design before closing? And we're going to choose yes, because today we are going to save our mat design for future use, because we're going to have to do a bunch more. And what pops up is another window. And this is a list of all of the things that have been saved already in our software. So I input the name. You're going to type in a file name, and we're going to call this Beautiful Picture. And then we're going to click on the Save button. And another pop-up window will come up, and it'll say that the mat board indeed has been saved. We just want to make sure that that mat board is indeed saved. So we're going to quit, and then we're going to open up our Mat Designer again. And this time we're going to go to find the Save Design, so we double click on that. And then we'd look through here Luckily, our design name or our file name begins with a B, so it's at the beginning of all of our lists. And we do see beautiful picture. Of course, if whatever you named your picture, if it's later in the alphabet, you're going to scroll down, find it, and make sure that it's still there. But ours is there, so we are good to go. We've saved our design, we made our design, it looked good. If it didn't look good, we'd have to go back and try again. But once again, we always measure twice, and so then we only have to cut once. We always double check our information that we're putting in. And you have learned how to put information into the Mat Designer software that goes along with the Wizard Mat Cutter. And that is the end.